Get ready, because it's happening. You don't get to pause this. You either rise or get left behind. Tomorrow's full moon isn't just another date on the calendar, it's a cosmic threshold, and like it or not, you're being pulled through a door you never saw coming. That tightness in your chest, that strange urgency. It's your higher self yanking the emergency brake, trying to wake you up. If you're feeling it too, drop a 222 in the comments. Let's align in this shift together. And watch out, because if you're not fully present during the first 8 hours of this full moon, you'll miss the most important moment of your year. There's one specific reason this tiny window is everything, and I'll break it down later. So stay with me, because tomorrow isn't just intense, it's irreversible. And what happens in the next 24 hours will decide whether you level up or get locked out. After tomorrow, a spiritual lock closes, and if you're not awake, you're locked out. There is a line in the sand being drawn, and it solidifies tomorrow. This full moon, it's not just a glow in the sky, it's a cosmic checkpoint, a decision point, written into your soul's timeline before you were even born. If you miss it, you won't just try again later. You'll feel like you're living on repeat, like something just keeps glitching. That's the loop. And this moon decides who gets pulled back into it and who gets the override. Because here's what no one wants to admit: most people won't notice anything tomorrow, but those who do, they're the ones who shift instantly. This is your chance to exit the noise and step into alignment with something way bigger than you've ever allowed yourself to feel. But there's one more thing about tomorrow that almost no one is talking about, and if you don't know it, you could fall straight back into a soul trap. Music. It looks beautiful, but it's a spiritual test in disguise. This full moon is going to seduce people with stillness. The night sky will feel calm, magnetic, even peaceful. And that's exactly the trap, because beneath that glow is a current of intense, surgical energy designed to do one thing: test your level of awareness. People will think it's just another full moon. They'll scroll, they'll vent, they'll fall into the same loops, and not even realize they're being energetically baited. This moon is laced with triggers. You'll notice more friction in conversations, strange emotional spikes, and opportunities that seem amazing, but come with invisible strings. This is precision chaos, and if you're even a little out of alignment, it's going to pull you into it fast. Energy doesn't care about your excuses. It mirrors your state. If you're asleep to your patterns, you'll argue with someone and think it's their fault. You'll feel a wave of fear and think it means something's wrong. But if you're awake, you'll spot the pattern before it bites. You'll realize this isn't an attack, it's calibration. And for those who are truly tuned in, this full moon is a launch pad. It's going to reveal the next path, not by handing it to you gently, but by forcing you to step into it through tension. This is alchemical pressure. It's meant to push you through. Triggers are invitations disguised as chaos. So if things feel off tomorrow, that's not something to fear. That's the sign you're in the right frequency zone. You just need to hold your ground, because on the other side of the discomfort is your next level clarity. And once you pass the test, what happens next will make you question if you were ever really lost to begin with. The universe is about to drop something into your consciousness, and it's not coming back twice. Sometime during this full moon window, you're going to get hit with something sudden. A sentence, a vision, a feeling. It might come in the shower, while you're half asleep, or in the middle of a completely unrelated moment. And it's going to feel weirdly clear. That's not random, that's the cosmic upload. A download encrypted with insight specific to you. It's not inspiration, it's instruction. This moon is acting like a file transfer, a single psychic ping that can redirect your next 6 months, but it's fragile. If you're too distracted, numb, or spiraling in noise, it'll bounce off your awareness and dissolve. You won't even know you missed it. This insight might look like a flash of knowing about a relationship, a new direction for your life, a person you need to release, or a concept you've never understood until now, it won't be vague. It'll hit sharp, almost like a psychic punctuation mark, but you have to be awake to receive it. Truth only lands in a still mind. If you catch it, write it down, speak it aloud, anchor it. Because this insight is not just information, it's a tool, a key, a doorway to your next level. And if you act on it, you'll notice something strange. Everything around you starts shifting to support it. This is why it matters so much that you're clear, grounded, and present during this moon. Not because it's cute and spiritual, but because this might be the only time this year you're handed an exact answer. And when it arrives, you'll know this wasn't a phase. This was the moment your entire internal compass snapped into place. Right now, everything might feel like it's cracking. Emotionally, mentally, even physically. It's that gnawing feeling that something isn't working anymore. That people are acting strange, that plans are falling through, and that somehow you're the problem. But here's the truth. You're not falling apart. Your false identity is. This full moon isn't here to give you comfort. It's here to strip you bare of every version of yourself that can't survive your next level. That's why everything feels chaotic, because the spiritual scaffolding around your old life is being ripped down in real time. And if you're asleep, you'll misread the sign. You'll think the universe is punishing you. You'll think you're failing, backsliding, getting worse. But if you're awake, you'll see the elegance in the chaos. You'll feel the pattern within the disarray. You'll understand that the breakdown is not the end. It's the re-entry. Awakening lets you see the beauty in the breakdown. Without it, you'll misread the signs and resist your own rebirth. This is the moment when life tests your spiritual eyesight. You're going to see people exit your life. Ideas you've outgrown will suddenly disgust you. Jobs or goals that once lit you up, they'll feel hollow. That's not regression, that's alignment, finally taking shape. Your nervous system will want to panic. Your ego will start looking for solutions. But here's the thing. This full moon isn't interested in your comfort zone. It's interested in your evolution. This is a soul quake. And soul quakes don't warn you before they hit. They shake loose everything that's not built on truth. So let it fall. Let the parts collapse, because what feels like the end of everything is actually the first clear sign that your higher path is activating, and in just a few hours you're going to enter the most magnetized window of your year. There is a window exactly 8 hours long, and it starts the moment the full moon reaches peak illumination. This is not symbolic. This is literal. In that tight space of time, the energetic field of the earth and your body opens up like a tuning fork. Whatever you think about gets amplified, multiplied, etched into the blueprint of your next 6 months. Most people are going to sleep right through it. They'll scroll, zone out, complain about the same things, and never realize they just programmed their future with unconscious noise. But if you're awake during those hours, you get access to something almost no one talks about: timeline override. Because in this precise window, your higher self takes the wheel. If you let it, that means insights come easier. Visualizations take root deeper. This is not the time to second-guess your instincts. This is the time to tune in so fully that your soul literally imprints your future into the quantum field. 8 hours. That's all you get. After that, the door begins to close, and the energy, it's not soft, it's like staring into a mirror with the volume turned all the way up. You'll see the truth of your patterns, your desires, your resistance. It will feel raw, uncomfortable, even overwhelming. But it will also be clarifying. What you hold on to during these hours will become your magnet. What you ignore will fester and haunt you later. So don't waste it. Don't dilute it with doubt or distraction. Because this is your soul's moment to whisper what it really wants. and the universe is actually listening. And what happens right after these 8 hours will determine whether you rise or get reset back into the loop. That thing you thought was done with, it's coming back for one last shot. Just when you think you've moved on, it comes back. That opportunity that once tempted you, but left you drained. This full moon is stirring it all back up. But not because you're meant to say yes, you're being tested. This energy, it's contractual, it's karmic, it's messy, and it knows how to look like progress. That's the trick. The return never shows up looking weak or broken. No, it shows up polished, sweetened, rebranded as maybe this time it's different. But here's the truth. This is not a second chance. It's a spiritual trap disguised as closure. This moon reopens old contracts. Not to renew them, but to finally delete them. The universe is saying, are you ready to let this go completely? Have you really evolved, or are you just better at pretending it doesn't bother you? Watch what resurfaces. The old friend who wants to reconnect. The job you hated that suddenly wants to rehire you. The coping habit that starts whispering promises again. Even that toxic loop of thoughts that you thought you'd buried. Now it's louder, flashier, dressed in new logic. It's not real, it's bait. And the moment you engage, you reinvest in a timeline that wants to claim you. Because if you say yes out of loneliness, fear or nostalgia, that's not healing, that's regression. This full moon is offering you a rare moment to stand your ground, to say, not this time, and to close the loop for good. Old cycles return louder right before they die. It's your job not to listen. Don't entertain the ghost of your past just because it knocks politely. This is your test, and it's happening tomorrow. Even a casual thought could ripple into your future reality. You can't afford to sleepwalk through tomorrow. Every word you speak, every decision you make, especially the small ones, is carrying energetic weight. This isn't just a day, it's a cosmic checkpoint. What you say yes or no to during this full moon doesn't just end here. It echoes. Treat tomorrow like a spiritual contract signing, because the universe is watching what you commit to. Say yes to something misaligned. You just scheduled 6 months of delay. Say no to something that scares you but feels true. You just paused your own expansion. Reply to that text out of boredom or guilt. You just reopened a loop your soul worked years to close. It's not about being paranoid. It's about being precise. Because the full moon isn't just illuminating your path. It's recording your choices. This is where timelines lock in. This is where futures get built out of whispers, glances, just for now agreements. So ask yourself, what am I agreeing to, even in silence? What am I aligning with, even accidentally? Most people will make casual choices tomorrow. They'll commit to ideas, people, situations with no awareness of the ripple effect. And they'll wonder, months later, why they feel off course. But you've been warned. You know what's at stake. So be clear, be conscious, be deliberate. Your future self is watching, and they're begging you to choose wisely. Because what you set in motion tomorrow will become the life you live, long after the moonlight fades. Just because you're rising doesn't mean everyone else will. This full moon is a pressure cooker, and pressure doesn't just create diamonds, it exposes cracks. You're rising, you're shedding, you're stepping into something bigger, even if it's still invisible. But not everyone around you is ready for that shift, and that's when things start getting messy. People will project. The closer you get to clarity, the more others unconsciously feel it. And not everyone can handle the vibration shift. They'll feel you slipping out of resonance, and instead of rising to meet you, they'll pull. That sudden message from someone you haven't heard from in months. That oddly timed argument out of nowhere. That friend who suddenly wants to hang out, not because they miss you, but because your energy feels good to leech off. It's not personal, it's energetic. Ascension can be lonely, not because others leave, but because you stop being available for their chaos. And chaos hates being ignored. It will find new costumes, a crisis you should help with. Someone's drama disguised as vulnerability, a conversation that starts soft but ends in energetic wreckage. Stay grounded, not cold, clear. You're not here to manage other people's reactions to your light. You're not responsible for the way your healing makes them uncomfortable. Protect your field. Clean up your notification. Stop walking into energetic storms just because someone you care about left the door open. This moon isn't asking you to fix anyone. It's asking you to hold your frequency, even when everything around you starts glitching. The people who can't regulate themselves will try to regulate you. Don't take the bait. You've worked too hard to lose your signal now. Right before the full moon unlocks its full charge, something much quieter will try to block you from accessing it, and it won't look like resistance. In fact, it'll feel strangely comforting. It might come as a strong desire to rest a little longer. The urge to scroll for just a few minutes, pushing off your intention to meditate or reflect. Nothing intense, nothing alarming, just a subtle fog of delay. That's what makes it so effective. You won't question it because it won't feel like sabotage. It'll feel like a reasonable choice. This kind of spiritual interference isn't chaotic or loud. It doesn't feel like a breakdown. It's more like a soft distraction that shows up right before alignment happens. That's exactly the point. The closer you get to breakthrough, the more appealing comfort becomes. You'll probably hear your mind saying things like, "I'll do that in an hour. I'll wait until I feel a little more inspired. Maybe tomorrow's not the real shift everyone's talking about." But these micro decisions are not neutral. They're setting the tone for how you enter this full moon's portal, awake and alert, or disconnected and delayed. This moon carries structural energy. It builds momentum behind whatever direction you're currently leaning into. And if that direction is indecision, avoidance or distraction, then that's what you amplify. That energy sticks with you long after the moonlight fades. The distractions that appear tomorrow won't be obvious. They might come in the form of sudden invitations, messages from people you've emotionally detached from, a gentle temptation to revisit something you already outgrew. It won't feel harmful. It'll feel familiar. But that's the trap. If you aren't paying attention, you'll mistake disconnection for you'll think you're choosing softness when you're actually choosing delay. And then you'll wonder why the full moon didn't shift anything when really it did. You just weren't tuned in to receive it. Tomorrow is not a time to coast. It's not a time to be half awake every hour, especially in the first part of the day. Echoes. What you give your energy to becomes a blueprint, and the moon, it doesn't wait for you to be ready. It meets you wherever you already are. If that place is foggy, distracted or tuned out, that's the vibration that continues forward. This is why awareness matters so much right now, not because distractions are evil, but because they're perfectly timed to show up when you're on the edge of a shift, asking you to choose ease over evolution. Don't fall for the version of comfort that offers nothing in return. Be aware of where your focus goes. Be aware of how many times you say later when your soul is clearly saying now. This isn't about being rigid or harsh with yourself. It's about being honest. You're either building momentum or you're standing still. And the moon doesn't care what you meant to do. It responds to what you actually do. You'll be surprised by what suddenly feels obvious. There's a moment coming, and it won't feel loud or dramatic, but it will change everything. Under this full moon, a kind of spiritual lens clicks into place. Not one you consciously chose, but one you've unknowingly earned through every decision, delay, breakthrough, and breakdown over the last few months. And suddenly what felt murky before becomes clear in one sharp, undeniable instant. This isn't going to be some wild, otherworldly epiphany that comes wrapped in flashing lights and mystical signs. It's more like looking at your life and realizing you can't unsee what's now obvious. The wrong job, the draining person, the thing you've been chasing that's actually been keeping you stuck. It all just clicks. You won't need to overthink it. Your soul will just know. And what's wild, it's not something new. It's something that's been trying to get your attention for a long time, buried under distractions, obligations, and second guessing. This moon doesn't bring answers from the outside. It sharpens what's already inside you. What's been whispering and waiting for you to finally stop ignoring it. It's not revelation. It's recognition. Your truth doesn't arrive. It wakes up. It won't come as some cosmic announcement. It'll sneak up in the middle of the mundane. That's what makes it powerful. You'll be doing something ordinary and suddenly, something inside you just flips. You might be mid-conversation and suddenly feel the urge to walk away. You might be looking at your own reflection and realize, I've been lying to myself about what I want. You're not imagining it. That's your higher self showing you what your ego's been trying to hide. And no, it won't all be comforting. Some of it will sting. Because seeing clearly means you can't keep tolerating what doesn't serve you. But this is a good thing, because pain becomes power the second you stop misinterpreting it. This moon forces a kind of psychic maturity. It's no longer about what feels good in the moment. It's about what aligns, what fits, what actually supports your evolution. Anything else starts to feel unbearable. So don't be surprised if something or someone feels off tomorrow for no obvious reason. If you suddenly just know you're done with a chapter, a routine, a role you've been playing for too long, that's not you being irrational. That's truth coming online. And the more you trust it, the faster your path realigns. Clarity always comes at a cost, but staying in illusion costs even more. This full moon doesn't just show you the truth, it dares you to live it. And after tomorrow, you won't be able to go back. If you're still watching, I'd like to thank you for your attention. If you enjoyed the content and want to see more, please consider clicking the subscribe button. Your support is very appreciated. Feel free to share your experiences or thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, take care and subscribe for more insightful content.